first-degree murder. We are hearing today from the special prosecutor in the investigation of the death of Robert Brooks. He's the Grace man who was killed last month at Marcy Correctional Facility. On top of the rallies across the state, a group which advocates for incarcerated people started a letter-writing campaign. And Special Prosecutor William Fitzpatrick responded. He says he has assigned 2 experienced prosecutors to the investigation. He says he's waiting on the official cause of death, but says, quote, "We will not delay the case, and my only goal in this case is to get justice for Robert." We spoke to Rochester attorney Cheryl Cates, a member of the group, who shared the email exclusively with News 10 NBC.
The people in our group have loved ones incarcerated. So seeing this video, this doesn't just affect what happened to Robert Brooks and that was the last minutes of his life, complete torture, or his family having to watch that. This involves over 30,000 people that are incarcerated in New York State and their family and their people that love them.
Kate says this group is well organized and it will not stop until the problems in the state's prisons are exposed and changes are made. New at 4, shortly after the video of the beating of Robert Brooks was released, a former state prison inmate reached out to Chief Investigative Reporter Berkeley Breen to share what he experienced. They met today along Webster Avenue in Rochester.
This is the neighborhood that the former inmate grew up in. In fact, as a kid, for a couple of years, he was friends with Robert Brooks and hung out with him. Because his prison past might affect his work and his future, he asked that we conceal his face. When you watched that video from inside the prison, what did you see and think?
Regular behavior that I knew existed, continuing to exist past the amount of years that I've been out of there.
The former inmate says he was never beaten in his 10 years in prison, but he was on a crew that was ordered to clean up blood after fights between guards and inmates or between inmates. You're saying that there were instances where there would be some sort of conflict between corrections officer and an inmate.
Yes.
You would have to clean that mess up.
The blood after the fact, yes. If there was blood or bodily fluids involved.
The Department of Corrections says it's in the process of trying to fire 13 people involved in the Brooks case. 1 employee resigned. A state prison report says 2,976 inmates were assaulted in 2024. The report does not distinguish how many involve guards. Why do you think things like that happen?
Personally, I believe it's many different reasons. I've heard officers say they had a bad day at home with their wife, and so they're gonna somebody up this evening, or don't with them today because they had a bad day, something went wrong here, something went wrong there. The former inmate believes that fear can be a factor as well. He saw it happen his very first day in prison, and he's going to recount that story coming up in 1 hour. On Webster Avenue, Berkeley Breen, News 10 NBC.
The Commissioner of Corrections in New York said he ordered the expansion of body-worn cameras in prisons and said guards must have their cameras on anytime they deal directly with inmates. An 11th hour